How about now? Can everyone hear me now? What's your deal, dude? Oh, you can hear me? Okay. Okay. Is there video? Audio, yes. Good deal. Speak, speak, ring, ring, we hear you. Don't touch anything. Okay. Good deal. Does the audio sound good? Because I don't think I'm using my podcasting mic. I think it's coming from the camera. Take a drink of coffee. Ooh, hoppy. That's some hoppy coffee. Okay, good deal. I'll have to figure out why this mic ain't working. That's interesting. The struggle was real. Visual 1010, sound 1010. Well, that'll work. I guess if it is coming from the microphone, it's all right. So, good deal. Well, welcome everyone. I'm glad you all can make it and that everyone can hear me. That is a plus. I was using the new YouTube live control room, and there just wasn't any options for me to play around with. So I ended that and went back to Google Hangouts where I had some sort of options. But good to see you all here, Granny Monster, Brian, and Part. Awesome to see you all here. Thank you for tuning in. Just thought I'd do a little live thing and see how many people want to come on and chit chat and talk about hiking, talk about questions you have for me, or talk about whatever you want. You know, this is just a fun thing to do. Ooh, that coffee is strong. Welcome back, Granny. Got to take care of those people at the door. Don't let me hold you back. Yeah, I haven't did a live in a while. At least sitting at home. I do apologize for the mess behind me. I have some organization I need to do, and plus I store Christmas presents up there. Yeah, strong Java. But, oh, excuse me. Thought I'd get on though. Hey, thanks, Part. Instagram has been something I've been tinkering around with and starting to get on it more and more and playing with keywords and, or I guess it'd be hashtags on there. And it's starting to be pretty fun. Instagram is a lot easier to do than Twitter, except for followers. Followers, sometimes I'll get close to like 900, and then the next day I come in and it's dropped down to 800 and something. And I think that's because there's so many fake people on Instagram, and Instagram's trying its hardest to delete them accounts. And it's just a lot of those people are, who are liking you or following you are fake. I won't use any kind of like Instagram following service or anything. I want it all to grow naturally. I want to see how many people actually like what I have to put out. So I shy away from any sub for sub type things. I don't even like doing it on YouTube. Hey, welcome, Leslie. I don't do it a lot. but every now and then I do it. Eventually, I'm going to do live streams more often, and I'm going to schedule them better. Like try to do it once a month starting out and see where it goes from there. But I've enjoyed your comments, Leslie. Thank you for leaving comments on my videos. Yeah, part you can do more with Twitter. But it just seems like engagement isn't as high as I thought it'd be. Even now, I'm over 1,000 followers. I just feel like engagement isn't as high as it could be, and maybe I'm not doing something. I'm starting to really get into Twitter again and trying to get that back up and going. So I think I just need to keep working on it. But Instagram's fun because I take a lot of pictures, and often, besides Facebook, I really have nowhere else to share them. And I like Instagram because it's all about the photo, pretty much. And that's about it. I joined that. See, Facebook has been my ultimate uh, supplier of views. I'm part of a group on there called the Shawnee National Forest. And when I post my videos to it, even now with Facebook's external link algorithm, where it really disranks when I post them. Not a lot of people see it like they used to, but still a lot of people do see it. And Facebook is still right now my dominant traffic source when it comes to external traffic. On YouTube, though, internally, it's suggested videos, stuff like that still, but outside, it's Facebook. um, I'd really like to equal all that out on all the social media. And pretty much the only thing I'm on is Facebook, YouTube, of course, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I joined Twitch. I just really don't understand what it is yet. I think it's just like live for gaming, and I'm not really that much of a gamer. I play The Sims 4 and Sim City and City Skylines. That's about it. If there was only one place I could hike and limited to only that place, where and why, that'd be Cache River. And that's because it got me hiking. And every time I visit, I'm fine. I'm happy to visit it all the time. Hey, welcome Digging with Deej. Or DJ, maybe? Is it Deej or DJ? Just one or two. Deej, one, two, DJ. But yeah, Heron Pond, Cache River, if that was the only place left to hike. And it's really cool there because it's a swamp. Okay, Digging with Deej. And it's a swamp environment. A lot of cypress trees, duckweed covered, swampy water. And oh, there's Chris Drone. Welcome to the live chat, Chris Drone. Thanks for tuning in. Hoopy. But anyway, Cache River is a pretty cool area. When you visit it, you think, this ain't Southern Illinois, but it really was once upon a time before settlers messed it up. But back then, it was about survival, so you really can't blame them. Just wish they would have preserved a lot more than they did. Like a couple thousand acres. That'd be cool. Any plans for a podcast? I thought I heard you say something about a while back ago. Yeah, I've thought about a podcast. It's not something that I don't want to do. It's something I'd like to look into more. Hiker G16, long time no talk, Shawn. Hey, thank you. You too. What is the ideal things we should bring for folks with physical limitations? Hmm. If you have physical limitations, I would suggest doing easy day hikes. Find state parks, for instance, in your area, or even local parks that offer hiking capabilities, and find easygoing trails. I would definitely consider trekking poles. If walking long distances may be hard for you, get a trekking pole, and when you're hiking along, it helps to balance you. And here's another thing, and Chris Drone here, he'll agree with this. I highly recommend folks find group hiking group communities. Folks who want to go out and group hike together. The way these group hikes work is they'll put the the hiker with the least experience, if you will, in the front of the pack, and that way it slows down the whole group to the pace of the folks who are not used to hiking. And it's a good thing. That way they're not in the back and they're trying to keep up and just having a horrible time. They're in the front. It's slowing down the pace. The people in the back are enjoying themselves, talking, looking at the surroundings, taking video of everyone like me and two Bobs. And group hiking, I think, is the best for beginners because then it's fun. You're with other people who are encouraging you to to hike, and they can watch you and make sure you're okay. Oh, no, no problem, Granny. If you're in a cast, you're forgiven this time. Okay. So, uh, low cost holiday ideas for hikers. Well, one thing I really enjoy, what I think people should consider as like maybe a stocking stuffer, is those yak tracks. I think they're like $20 a piece, and they fit over your shoe. And when you're in wintry or slick conditions, it gives you a little bit more grip. I think that's a nice little gift to give to a hiker if they don't have them. That way, you can protect yourself a little bit when you're hiking, or a trekking pole. Anything to do with safety, a first aid kit. I can't tell you how many hikers do not carry a first aid kit. I'm an advocate of safety, managing emergencies and whatnot, and I think it's a good idea to bring safety equipment along with you. One thing I always tell people, whether you're going for a short hike or a longer day hike, make sure you pack enough food and hydration to last you a couple of days, because you never know if you're going to get lost in the forest or in the woods or wherever you're going hiking. And that wouldn't be good if you ran out of food and water. A lot of people buy water filters and don't use them until they absolutely need them, and then they're confused. If you buy a filter, break that sucker open and filter some tap water. Why not? Just make sure you know how to use it before you actually get out there and use it. And it's the same with anything in your first aid kit. If there's items in there that you don't know how to use, take them out and save weight, because you don't need them. If you don't know how to use it, don't bring it. Thin layer stuff for winter hiking, can use for anything. Yeah, definitely thin layers, base layers. Pack some extra clothes in your day pack or your overnight pack just in case you get wet. You could consider going back through this and make a highlight reel of questions. Yeah, good idea. I need to make more tips videos, for hiking. I have a lot of planned different hiking videos. I just need to go out and start doing them. Yeah, yak tracks, they've helped me out quite a bit. In the winter, I particularly like to get on frozen waterfalls, specifically on the top of them, and take photos and video downward on top. It's really dangerous. I do not recommend people do it. I don't advocate doing it. I've done it a lot, and I always have an escape plan. Um, so don't try that at home. But those yak tracks, they really help with grip when I'm on solid ice. So a little fire starter kit would be a nice. Yeah, I agree with that part. Um, you get out and you get lost in the woods and you start to get cold. You're gonna need to start a little fire. And digging with Deej talks about like a baggie full of dryer lint. Dryer lint is one of the best things that get a good fire going really quick. I agree with Chris. Definitely get some good shoes. If anything, that's where you want to spend the most money. Your feet are your main hiking increment that you're going to be using, and you want to take care of your feet. So get really good shoes, really good hiking socks, and make sure you're taking care of your feet and being wise in foot health and so on and so forth. Keep them warm and keep them stretched, and don't go to Walmart and buy the cheapest hiking shoe possible because you'll regret it. If you have the money, spend over $100 on your hiking shoes. That's my suggestion. What is the most intriguing person you have happened upon during a hike? Follow up. He was single. uh, hmm. I've met interesting people on my hikes. I actually walked up on two people who I think were illegally harvesting ginseng, which is weird because the permits for them locally are just cheap. But they did not like the fact that I had cameras all over me, and they were wanting my cameras. They were wanting to look at them, and I had to put my hand. I had to lift up my shirt just to show my little special item, which I didn't like to do, but I had to do it. And I did it in a way where I was not meaning to, just wanted to show them it. And they seen it and they left me alone at that point. And then I got the heck out of there. And that was, I want to say, pretty far into the Less Creek area. And I haven't seen anyone like that since. So I don't know what they're doing out there. It was either ginseng harvesting, maybe they were poaching. They didn't have any weapons. It could have been drugs, meth, marijuana, whatever. But they did not like the fact that I had cameras, and they were wanting to look at them. They were being very disgruntled about it. And I really try to be nice, but that freaked me out. That really did. I think I left after that, and and I did tell forestry. On a group hike, I take a small box first aid kit and I add peppermint candies in case. Hey, that's a good idea, Diggin. If you have knowledge of health and you can bring stuff to help people with that, I'm all for it. Yeah, it's weird because the ginseng permits are only like they're under $50 if I recall. I mean but that's why I think they were doing. But I don't know. It could have been something else. I didn't really stick around. That kind of that was really early on when I was doing hiking with Shawn. I didn't get no footage of them. I didn't want to instigate anything. Um, but once they seen I was, concealed carrying, they left me alone, and that was enough for me to get out of there. But let's see. And did I miss any questions? Miss any questions? Guess not. Okay, folks, I'm going to be right back. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Um, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me? I had to mute the mic. Oh, okay. There's a delay. I forget about that. Or is there a delay? Sorry about that, folks. I was I suffered food poisoning not too long ago, and when nature calls, I gotta go. Since then, so I'm still kind of recovering from all that. Stay away from fast food. That's my best suggestion to avoid that. Yeah, that's right. That's true. The coffee also, helps with that. So just trying to be a good boy. But thank you all for showing up to my kind of unplanned, barely announced live chat. Um, cool to see some new faces in here. Chris, I mean, I know Chris personally, but he's never been in one of my live chats, so it's good to see him. And Chris, definitely let let Bill know that I am interested in the hikes, the unofficial hikes. Definitely want to see y'all again. Oh, hey, Mike. Are you out camping, sitting by a fire? Is that what you mean? If you are, cool beans. Don't get eaten by a gator. Where are you hiking this weekend? I don't know yet. Tomorrow I'm going to get out for sure. And Sunday I'll be getting out. Next weekend I'm going to be staying in a cabin for a couple of days. And I'll be doing like a video review of the cabin and all that. And it's around Shawnee National Forest. It's around Garden of the Gods area. And I'm looking forward to that. It's really my first time getting a cabin. So hopefully maybe that'll start something. Um, but tomorrow I'm not too sure where I'm going to go yet. It's not hunting season anymore, so definitely have to go somewhere in the forest. Just don't know where yet. I don't plan them out. Next weekend it'll be Garden of the Gods area, probably the wilderness area. There's still a couple areas out there that I've yet to explore that I'd like to explore more of, off trails specifically. Now that the spiders and the mosquitoes and all that are gone, um, I've been really getting into following the bluff lines and specifically looking for windows. I think that's really neat when you can find little natural windows and stuff like that, even if they're just really little. Um, I just really enjoy finding them. So hike with Mike is camping, getting him some good medicine. I have never gone snowshoeing. Um, in Southern Illinois, we don't get a whole lot of snow like we used to. Every now and then we will. So if I went snowshoeing, it would likely be somewhere where they get a lot of snow, and it'd be fun. I'd give it a shot. I would definitely want to go with someone experienced because I've never really done that, and I'd be the one to get lost because I get lost a lot. If you can imagine it, that's just the edited footage that you don't see. Local area, nothing special, no swamp, camping more drier upland part of with Lacochi State Forest. Probably butchered that. Well, hey, Mike, at least you're camping and you're watching me from, I assume, your cell phone while you're camping. That's pretty cool. At least you got a little bit of signal. Usually, the areas I camp, I'll look at my phone and it says no service. So it's like, well, now I got to be, kind of unplugged and enjoy the outdoors. If you make it up my way. Yeah, I hear you part. If I went further north, it'd probably be a good snowshoeing area. And you guys got a lot of stuff up there. Heck, I watch your videos. I was shocked to know how much extra stuff is up there. I've heard of a Starved Rock. I've heard of that. I guess that's just more of the popular one that a lot of folks hear about. I'd like to visit there at some point. I just want to make sure that there's other places I can visit around there because every time on Twitter I see like a message about Starved Rock, it's because they've closed the parking lot due to so many tourists. So I'd hate to drive all the way up there and be like, oh, you can't visit. We closed the parking lot. We were supposed to get some sort of winter event. And Chris, you may be able to shed some light on that, but I'm thinking it's going to stay south of the river. Huh. Oh, heck yeah, parked. If I ever head up north, which I will eventually, you'd probably be the first person I'd look up and definitely, collaborate with you and whatnot. That'd be fun. Like if I ever went to Florida, hike with Mike would be the first person I looked up. I'd be like, how do I get to you, Mike? I got the chance to collaborate with a couple of folks that Mike got to collaborate with at Sloan's Wilderness Adventures, Catfish and Cliff Dweller. And those were some really cool guys to make a video with. And we did it on Snake Road, and it was a lot of fun. And it was fun meeting Catfish and Cliff Dweller. And those were two people I've been wanting to meet for a long time. And that was a whole lot of fun. Latest south of us, good deal. I mean, I like winter, but I don't like ice. Of course, I like summer better, but yeah, I agree, Mike. Those were some fun people to collaborate with, and I brought them to Snake Road, hoping they would see at least some pretty good snakes, and they saw two timber rattlesnakes, which for their first time on the road, that is a big deal. A lot of people they visit Luru Pine Hill Snake Road specifically to see rattlesnakes. And I mean, some people it'll take 4 or 5 years before they see one. They're an elusive critter, and you don't see them much on that road because they know how to stay away from people. And luckily, they were able to see them. And one of them was hanging in a tree, and it was very photographed, very videoed, and but they got to see it. Cold night, 50s and 40s. It's let's see, Mike, let me tell you what the temperature is here. Um 31 degrees. We should have some 20-degree nights coming up in the 20s. But eventually we'll get into the teens. But we're Illinois, not Florida. The one time I visited Florida, Pensacola, so pretty far north Florida, um, I left my area in December, early December, and it was like 18 degrees, spit and sleet. And when I got to Florida, it was 96 degrees. And I was like, I got to put on shorts. I got to take this hoodie off. The best time to come down to Snake Road is probably, let's see, during migration, probably about a month into migration. So I can't remember the exact date, but a month into it is when those snakes will really start moving. Pay attention to the weather. And when it goes from like cooler nights to more warmer nights and then warmer days, that's when they're really going to start moving. And then in fall, it's those cold nights and warm days. And then once it starts really getting cold, that's when they really start getting into their dens. But then the other day, December 1st, during shotgun season, we went there blazing orange, and we seen 55, 60 snakes because it was near 70 degrees. And they were out and about there sunning and just having a good old time. And the road was wide open and migration was not going on. And we found some dead ones, of course, but it was pretty neat to see, though. A lot of good snaky activity. And then I got a cottonmouth drinking from a leaf. I mean, if that isn't nature, I don't know what is. I mean, that was just an awesome sign of nature. There in February, hopefully. Oklahoma. Okay. Welcome back, Deej. Gotta hate when that phone shuts off. And feel free, folks, to take a look at each other and check out each other's channel. Not everyone has a channel, but some folks on here have a channel. Hike with Mike has a really good channel. Parked, Digging, Granny Monster. Check each other out, and if you like each other, feel free to subscribe. Definitely not sub for sub. Don't subscribe unless you like the content. That's what I always say. I can't wait till gun season ends so that I can get back out. How long does gun season last in Florida? Like right now, it's ended for Illinois. Unless muzzle loader is still going on. I don't really know about the muzzle loader, but I know shotgun season is done. We don't have rifle season. Oh, no problem, Granny. I understand that. Thanks for stopping by. Awesome. Last time we were down there, we stayed at Fern Cliff and explored Little Grand Canyon, Giant City, and Snake Road. Looking forward to checking out some new places that we found. Well, thank you, Part. You checked out some pretty good ones there. Little Grand Canyon's an awesome spot. Giant City, of course, is great. Snake Road, and there's tons more. I mean, especially you get on the eastern side of the forest. I went with the River to River Trail Society, which Chris up there is a part of, and the last hike we went on, we went into an area I'd never been, and it was just amazing, especially at the end, just the way the bluffs were and everything. I mean, it was just, I'll definitely be back. And there's just so much to see in the forest. And for someone like me, who is always in the forest, Chris even makes the joke that, do you ever do anything else but hike? Which, I work full time, but it seems like, that I'm always out in the woods. But even for me, since 2016 and really before that, I've been in and out of the forest and the state parks and so on and so forth a lot. There's still a lot I haven't seen, and that's pretty cool for such a small forest in Southern Illinois. And I also bike, yeah. I enjoy biking. That is true, Chris. There are much worse things to do. I could be gambling or doing what I used to do and just eating and doing nothing and gaining a lot of weight. Hiking saved my life, folks. Really, if you want to hear the blunt, honest truth, hiking with Shawn saved my life because I was big and making bad health decisions when I first really got into hiking and biking. And once I got into it and started hiking with Shawn, the channel, and then realized people wanted to see more and more, even though I thought I was just going to have like 10, 20 subscribers, not whatever I have now. I think I have 1,000 something. And that blows my mind, getting 1,000 people who want to see what I have to put out. It really saved my life. I make better health decisions now. I quit smoking. You know, I still use the vape, but that's not as bad as smoking, and I've seen the results. Though I wouldn't vape if you don't vape. Um, but I've made a lot of decisions that will impact my health, and I get out more. I've lost so much weight. It really has saved my life, and it's because people want to see more and more, and I want to get out more and make sure I live up to that mission, if you will. Let me pour me some more coffee. Let the coffee fizz sizzle down. uh, and Chris brings up a good point. We got to figure out how to see less trash out there. Every time I go hiking with the River to River Trail Society, and then also when I hike on my own, uh, we bring out bags of trash, and especially in areas where there's a lot of tourism or a lot of, I'll just say, outside horse traffic. That's not a diss to all horse riders, but you get some horseback riders who really trash a forest. I've seen it personally. I've spoke up about it. You know, I've picked up after them. And then a lot of non-horseback riders are doing it too. So everyone, you know, everyone's doing their part in trashing the forest, but it's some of us are actually doing our part in trying to clean up the forest. I have some ideas. The Forest Service does stuff called trash blasts. And I'm thinking in my head, why should they be the only one to do it? Hiking with Shawn has generated a fan base, a local fan base, and why not? You know, what I need to do is go to the Forest Service and make sure, you know, I have their blessings, put together an event, get people out and clean up trash. And that's pretty much all we're going to do. And I'm going to put them on TV, or not TV, put them on video if they want to be, and, you know, make a whole video about it and hopefully encourage people to do the same. When I tell people on social media, if you go out and clean up trash, take a picture of the before shot and after shot and brag about it, because maybe that will encourage more people to do it, you know. Being near a forest would be a nice change. We have a nice batch of parks close, but have a national forest, which is... Oh, I agree, Parked. That's what I really like about being from Southern Illinois. We don't have a whole lot over here, but we have a whole lot of natural areas and forests and state parks, which are effectively right in my backyard. The farthest ones take maybe an hour to get to, south of me at least, and that's not bad. Yeah, I find TVs out there, a bicycle out at Ferncliff, tires all the time. sometimes I wonder if some of the trash is brought there by flood, or just weather in general. Because some of the trash I find out there, I'm just thinking, why would this be dumped out here? You know, what, just like a tire, a huge tire. Who would make that effort to take that and dump it way out in the wilderness? I mean, they have to be coming in on a four-wheeler. That's what I'm expecting. No hiker or even horse is going to want to carry a big old tire. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I'm glad I have 1,000 plus. That's a big deal to me. I was actually up and watching it roll over from 999 to 1,000. I have footage of that. I just never uploaded it. I may do that in my rewind video. I try to do a little YouTube rewind specific to my channel, and I may use it in that because that was a big deal. That was a big event. A lot has happened in 2018, folks. I've met a lot of great people. I've met people who are dear to my heart. I have been on the news, which was really cool. A lot of companies sent me stuff to try in 2018. They're still sending me stuff. I've hit 1,000 subscribers. I mean, a lot has happened this year. This has been a really good year for Hiking with Shawn, and I can't wait to see more of what happens in the future. And I'm pumped. I'm going to keep doing this for sure. It went from a really fun hobby to a passion. Don't underestimate the redneck. Digging with Deej, I think I only... For some reason, it like tried to censor that. I don't know why I did that. Don't underestimate. Hey, Tuck Williams, welcome, buddy. Good to see you here. Yeah, I guess yeah, well, that's true, Tuck. You can't underestimate a redneck. Just not all rednecks are like that. I think I'm pretty redneck. I live in a town of 700 people and have a pickup truck, and I even have a banjo. Just don't know how to play it yet. My goal is to learn dueling banjos and then get into a Yeti suit and go out in the forest and wait till a young couple hikes by and start playing dueling banjos and see what the response is. I'll probably get shot. 15 subscribers away from 600. Heck yeah. Keep going. I usually leave the beer for home, or in this case, the coffee. Don't want to bring that out on the trail. Way too much cardio activity going on. I'll be like, oh, I need to sit down. Yeah, funny about that, Tuck. Yeah, I have most of my teeth, at least on the bottom. They will run. They will definitely run. That is true, part. It would be kind of funny. It'd be kind of funny to put on video as long as I can meet up with them later and get them laughing, not get them calling forest law enforcement service on me. Oh, this is cool. I'm glad 8 people watching. That's pretty fun. I tried to announce this on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to see if it would draw more people in, but oh well, no biggie. But there's a few people. Nope, that was a different photo. So what is everyone's plans for the weekend? What do you plan on doing this weekend if you're free? If you have to work, I'm sorry. I don't know where I'm going yet tomorrow. I'd like to go somewhere though. There's a few trails in the west side of the forest that I've never explored, and I would like to, but they're all bushwhack. They're trails that haven't been used in years. They're all growed up, trees are down, so it'd be a nothing but bushwhack scenario. But I'd really like to see them. One of them's called Trail 747. It's right next to a church. There's supposed to be some pretty nice outcroppings. It's over by the Little Grand Canyon area. Tuck, Two Bob's Adventures have done the Red River Gorge a couple of times, and they said the next time they go, if possible, they want to invite me to come along, and I'll be glad to if I can, and hang out with them there. So that's in the plan. But we're also planning to go to Missouri in the spring or summer months of 2019 to do the Katy Trail, but we're doing it by bicycle. And I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to do the whole trail, and we're going to try to do it in a week. We're going to start at Clinton and then head east to Makins or Matchins. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And do all 270 miles, I guess it is, something like that. And that's going to be a lot of fun. You will see the cat behind me. She jumped on the back of the chair. Oh, now she's getting in my lap. How is Giant City State Park and Trail of Tears State Park? Trail of Tears is a state forest. I've really not explored Trail of Tears State Forest yet. I've just driven through it. That's a place I need to kind of explore. Good idea. Maybe I'll go there this weekend. And then again, some parts may be closed right now. I'm not too sure. I have to look into it. But that would be a fun place to visit. Giant City State Park's awesome. I grew up in Giant City. Oh, no problem, Brian. I grew up in Giant City. I have a lot of memories there. And even though I've pretty much went there for all 34 years I've been alive, there's still many parts of Giant City that okay, let me do some banning real quick. We don't need you here. How do I ban you, Hyde? Sorry about that, folks. Sorry you had to see that. No. Why are you saying unhidden? Okay, there we go. Yep, muzzle. Definitely wear orange. Giant City, though, it's pretty awesome. There's a lot of different trails for different types of hikers, advanced, beginners, family, people who can't really hike a whole lot. There's easy trails. There's a 12-mile looped backpacking trail with a campground in the middle of it, Red Cedar Trail. I really need to go do that again. With these colder nights, it'd kind of be worth it, even though some people would disagree. But I kind of want to do that again in the cold. But yeah, Giant City is 20 minutes from me, so it's probably pretty much the easiest state park for me to get to. But like I said, I grew up there. We were kind of poor, in my family growing up. Not poor, we just didn't have a whole lot of money, couldn't just give you a credit card to go to the mall. And I really embraced the outdoors as a kid. Giant City was so close; it was easy to get to. So that's a special place in my heart. These spammers, they use some weird names, Catholic for life, and then they write that message. Katy Trail should be fun. I agree, Brian. I'm really looking forward to that. We have Tunnel Hill Trail over here, and I love it. But Katy Trail is like that, except longer, and it really caters to cyclists, from what I hear. Are you comfortable, Kat? Go play. Go play. I love my cat, but she's overbearing. She continuously wants attention. But she's a rescue, so she had to live that life where no one wanted her, and then I found her. Tunnel Hill, yep, that is a rail to trail. It's about 45 miles in length from Karnak, Illinois to Harrisburg, Illinois. And then from Harrisburg to El Dorado, there's another trail, but it's not a rail trail. It's just a multi-use path. But Tunnel Hill was part of the CCC Railroad, I do believe. The Big Three, they called it. And there's several ghost towns. There's a tunnel in Tunnel Hill, Illinois. I don't know the length, but I know when you get into the middle of it, it's complete tunnel vision. I have several videos of it. Just type in Tunnel Hill in my YouTube search, and you'll find videos of it. It's pretty fun. You've hiked part of it? Yeah, okay, cool. It'd be a good trail for hiking, biking, running. I've never really hiked it, but I've rode it many, many times. Really, Tunnel Hill's really kind of what got me into hiking, because I kept passing by the sign to Heron Pond from the by end of the Karnak loop, or not loop, but section. And finally I thought, well, I'm going to go check out what this Heron Pond was. I thought it was like a fishing hole. Then when I got there and I hiked it, all these memories came back, and I had visited there in like second grade on a field trip. I just fell back in love with the place, and then I started hiking a lot more. So that really, biking is what got me into hiking. I do too, Tuck, but here lately, every time I ride through it, I have to stop in the middle and kind of push. For some reason, my vision is messing with me. Maybe I'm getting old. I agree, Tuck. The problem is the budget. They don't have a budget to do it. There's so many of them around. Um, you'd be surprised. Shawnee National Forest was just complete farmland at one time, and the erosion and everything was so bad that when they sold it off as Shawnee Purchase units in the 20s and 30s to establish the forest, or more like the 30s and 40s, there's a lot of home sites, homesteads, and it's hard. I mean, if anything, I think they should try to mark them off better. Put tape around a tree or something. Um, I've almost considered like downloading all the maps for the River to River Trail Society that they put out, and then marking where all I can find the wells and cisterns, and then like re-uploading that to Avenza, just to give people an idea of where they are. I don't know yet. I mean, I have an idea for a trail app that I'm kind of looking into, and we'll see what happens. Chris yeah, I see that, Chris. Chris Brenda, the Illinois botanizer, is doing a through hike and video updating it every day. Day 5, I think now. I've been sharing his blog on the Facebook page for Hiking with Shawn. That's pretty neat seeing that happen. One of these days, I'm going to through hike that trail. Oh, I couldn't even tell you, Brian. There's a lot. Um, most of them, all that's been left behind is, some flowers that you can tell where the homesteads are, and cisterns and wells and like old foundations. But most all that was farmland. If you find a cemetery out there, chances are that was like a little community or someone's property or something like that. But I agree, Tuck. You'd worry about kids and pets, and it's a good worry. And the Forest Service knows they're out there, but it's just the budget. It'd be something to maybe look into to see if maybe they can get a grant specifically for that. I'd have to kind of research that. I used to be better with grants, but I need to kind of look into that. Maybe they get some. I wouldn't say. I would say it'd be under 100, Brian. Maybe up to 100, but not 1,000. Not thousands, no. And it's really in just certain areas. But anytime you find a cemetery somewhere, or let's see, the daffodils, I think, are the flower you commonly find, or just any signs of old settlement, just guarantee there's a well or cistern somewhere in all that. And sometimes you find wells that are completely covered, which are kind of neat. Yep, the Shawnee is only really about 250,000 acres, and it's kind of scattered out. But there's plenty of woods on private land, and even in the state parks that have the old cisterns and wells in them. This whole area was founded by Southerners, which is why a lot of us have more of a Southern accent. And it reminded them of the South with the hills and the forestry and all that. But it was better to farm than their area, even though there's a lot of erosion problems, which is effectively what led to the creation of the forest. But this area was really, really farmed daffodil, yeah. We find them a lot on the River Trail Society hikes. In fact, that's something I really like to go try to find. That's when I lose the group because I want to look around. See, did I miss any questions? I don't think I did. I'll probably do this stream for a little while longer. I don't want to do an all-nighter. I know some YouTubers will do it for hours upon hours. I don't think I'm going to do that. We all have our lives. But pretty cool. Had about maybe 8 to 10 people show up max. That's pretty good chat. That's fun. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I'd appreciate it. I think most of you are probably subscribed. And if you hit that little bell icon, it'll alert you every time I upload and do lives and all that fun stuff. And of course, I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you prefer to see stuff there, Hiking with Shawn on all of them. And what's that? Parked. What's that other app I joined? Is it Velo or Vero? Something like that. Yeah, I agree, Tuck. Um, I was kind of optimistic when I went there. I thought I'd maybe see 2 or 3 snakes. Turned into 50, 60 snakes, and that was a really fun day. Um, Seen a couple of dead ones. I didn't video them, but that's expected. They cross the road and they get hit. But just seeing the cottonmouth drinking from a leaf was so fun. That was just so fun. That's one of the most unique things I've seen on the road. And it was just, that was just nature being nature. That was real nature. Just watching how a snake hydrates its thirst, that's just so cool. And all of us who were there were just kind of in awe staring at that. We watched it until it finally realized we were there and, turned around and opened its mouth. I really hope my Snake Road videos kind of show people, though, that snakes aren't really as bad as people make them out to be. I mean, yeah, you should keep your distance, especially if you're afraid of them. Don't feel like you need to get close, but they're really just like any other wild animal. They're just trying to survive, and when they get around us, they're scared and they get defensive. And with a snake, all it has is the mouth. you know, a raccoon and a possum and bobcats and all that, they have their claws. They can run from us. A snake, it can slither away, but if you get full chase, you can keep up with it. Even a racer, really. But so all they have is that mouth. They open that mouth and they're like, "Oh, that's evil," It's like, no, that's their only defense method. Though racers are pretty quick, some of them has evaded my capture. Never seen a green water snake that looks so dark. Oh, the Mississippi greens? Yeah, they're amazing. And that one I videoed was really light compared to what they usually look like. And they're just an awesome snake. That's an endangered snake. And part of the reason why that road is shut down on a scheduled basis. And Scott Ballard, the IDNR herpetologist or biologist who specializes in herpetology, he kind of helped get that place shut down on a scheduled basis because the Mississippi green. His thesis was about it. Yeah, they do learn to slither away faster. Snakes are smart. They know how to avoid us. Um, the mud snake, for example, you just rarely see it. It's just like the golden egg of herping. And got to see that in 2018, on Snake Road. Got to see a baby copperhead, couple different snakes I had never seen specifically in that area. Seen more timber rattlesnakes this year or this previous migration than I have ever on Snake Road. I've probably seen 20 of them. I'm getting ticks every now and then. Excuse me for that. So, is there any particular spot in the forest that any of you local folks would like me to go to? Oh, hey, hike camp. I didn't see you up there. Greetings, buddy. Sorry I missed you. But yeah, that's the thing. If any of you all, if there's any like areas that I don't show enough or I've not shown in video that you would like to see featured in my video, please let me know. I do this all for you all, really. For me too, but for you all too. I've not been to Les Creek in quite a while, actually. Really glad you mentioned that. That may be a possibility this weekend. It's been a while since I've been there. And there's a couple places in Les Creek that I've never been to at all. I've never been to Rock House. Um, I've been told I need to go there. Um, haven't been to Indian Kitchen in a while. Need to go back there and check it out and go look at Gilbert Cemetery. I put American flags all over Gilbert Cemetery a couple of Memorial Day days ago, and apparently that got seen by quite a few people. I see pictures of it every now and then. It's kind of neat. That was a fun way to spend Memorial Day, I think. Flagging a forgotten cemetery. But I do need to go back to Les Creek. That's a fun place. I hike in a place called Cadaverin Claw. It's a nickname for a place, though. It's so cool. Cool, Sarah. What sort of stuff do you see on that hike? And where is it? And welcome. That looks like a new name. Welcome. Hey, you too, Chris. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hope to get together with you all soon and do some of the unofficial hikes. And hey, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Winnipeg. I mostly see bats in caves. That's cool, Sarah. I think bats are really cool critters. I see them every now and then. They're fun. You're welcome, Chris. I'm glad I met you too. And I talk positively about the River Trail Society because it's an awesome group to hike with. I love hiking with y'all, and can't wait till you all start again and I get to lead a hike. I'm going to be leading a hike at Cache River, and I'm really excited about that. It's going to be really fun. We just got to make sure we do it when it's a little drier, otherwise the creek crossings are going to be horrible. But have a good night, Chris. Sleep well. Yeah, I am PG here, Sarah. So if it's adult rated or anything like that, do you know, keep that to yourself. Try to keep it kind of family friendly in here. But bats are cool, like the bats. We have a lot of bats around here. We have a lot of caves, which is kind of an uncommon knowledge. There are tons of caves in the Shawnee, and most of them are barred off and not sealed off, just barred off to where you can't spelunk them. And that's because there's a lot of bats, and they're trying to protect them from white noise syndrome. Um, you should hike where they filmed Blair Witch. Well, let's see where they filmed that. I know they didn't. They only filmed portions of it in Burkittsville. I do know that for a fact. I know the Appalachian Trail goes through Burkittsville. There's a state park or something over there. Um, went in Quality Cave in the 70s. Lots of bats. Yeah, I bet. So you actually been in the cave, Tuck? But Sarah, where else are you suggesting besides the AT portion in Burkittsville? Because I know, that the whole movie was fake. I mean, there's no there's a little portion of forest, hikeable forest near Burkittsville, but there's no what do they call it, black forest or whatever it is. I mean, there's videos on YouTube where you can see like the Reston Parr house and all that, which has been burnt to the ground apparently. That's cool, Tuck. I don't know if I could cave. I have a cousin that used to cave, and he enjoyed it, but I don't know if I could do it. It'd have to be really easy to get through. Sarah, I was younger when Blair Witch came out, and I really got into it, and then I just started researching it, and it just put two and two together and kind of watch. But they do have an area in Burkittsville called Spooks Hill, and it's supposed to be a hill that you can put your vehicle in neutral and it'll push you down. It's like an optical illusion, more or less. So that's their only really supernatural thing. But they really don't care if you come looking for the Blair Witch as long as you don't damage anything. I know they've had a lot of damage in their cemetery and people stealing their road signs and stuff, but there's some pretty good documentaries out there where the locals talk about it and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. But I do remember it. That was a really good I think it was a good movie, to be honest. It was shaky. A lot of people didn't like that, but for such a low budget film, I thought it really started the whole found footage genre, and I really like it in horror. Yeah, Tuck, that's pretty cool. You explored those caves. Blind cave salamanders. That'd be neat. There's somewhere in Kentucky, Tuck, where I think you can mountain bike through a cave. And I really need to find out more about that because that would be pretty neat. It's big enough where it wouldn't be so spooky. My thing would just be crawling through the cave in like water and stuff. That would freak me out. It feel like I'm in an old coal mine. And then the possibility of getting lost. It's not like getting lost in the forest. You get lost in a cave and that's it. Sarah, though, I will say that Maryland probably has some really beautiful spots to hike. Um, if I had the time, I'd love to do the AT, but who can take 6 months at minimum? I agree, Tuck. It was hard for me to crawl through that shelter cave at Fern Cliff in my latest video. I can only imagine really fully crawling through a big cave. But I bet it'd make a really good video. Alrighty, folks. I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I do thank you all for showing up and talking with me. And in the future, I'm going to try to schedule these things a little better. Part to mention podcasting. That may be something I look into doing in the future. I'm kind of retrofitting my portable building to turn it into my studio, if you will. I'm going to put a dedicated electric to it and all that, and hopefully get it going by summer of next year. And that would be an area I would podcast. You know, I'll get my cable internet hooked up directly to it, or I could set up everything, and that would be pretty fun. So maybe that can happen, and get some guests and all that, and really organize these a little bit better. But I'll try to do more live streams like this where I'm talking, and maybe clean up behind me a little bit. You are a lizard. Someone called me a lizard. Okay, I'll take that. But yeah, thank you all for showing up. And until next time, I'll see you on the trail. I'm a lizard. Called me a lizard. I'm the lizard man.